Cruise ships. They're a city out at sea, a moving metropolis. They should be safe, so why do around 200 people die on them a year? There's some important messy legal facts to deal with on cruise ships, and that includes when there's a murder too. Maritime laws are one of the least updated and complex legal sectors for a start. If a ship is in port when a crime takes place, i.e. murder, then the local authority has clear jurisdiction. This ranges only up to 12 nautical miles of their shore, however. And if you're out of this area, then it's on to the country the cruise is registered to. So let's say for example you're out at sea and someone is murdered beyond the 12-mile limit and the ship was registered in Jamaica, you'd fall under the Jamaican law even though you're just 20 miles off the coast of Miami. When a crime occurs, the captain has to pick whether or not to make an unscheduled stop at a nearby port or carry on to the next stop as intended, so it could throw a bit of a spanner in the works for your holiday if there's a crime. And a crime here is exactly what happened on the Emerald Princess, so the captain ought to turn that ship around pronto. Kristy Manzanares was 39, a budding real estate agent based in good old Utah.
I'm Kristy Manzanares with Summit Sotheby's International Realty. Welcome to Encanto's Respiro. When designing this home, what we did is we just went with a very neutral palette and pulled in some of the colors from the surroundings, like the lava is in the fireplace with the black porcelain tile. So we just accented with pillows and just different accessories to pull in a little bit of color, but we really wanted to keep it very neutral so we didn't detract from the surroundings and the views. So we're really excited for the parade this year. I'm one of the realtors on this home and we'll be here all during the week to answer any questions you might have, so stop by home number 6 and see us. We're excited to have you all here.
She was described as being one of the nicest, most kind people there was by people who knew her. She volunteered at a local school and was extremely loving of her 3 daughters. She worked at Remix Associates, St. George, from 2013 up until 2016, where she started working at Summit Sotheby's International, again as a realtor, and still in St. George, Utah. She was Utah born and raised, going to Southern Utah University before ending up in St. George, achieving a bachelor's degree in family and consumer science. Kenneth Manzanares, nicknamed Kenny, worked as a bail bondsman, was a manager at Walgreens and an insurance company employee. The pair were childhood sweethearts, getting married all the way back in 1999. It, however, wasn't always plain sailing for the couple. Sailing, you see what I did there? Cruise ship, The couple filed for bankruptcy in 2010, but I'm guessing got their shit together, judging by how much going on a cruise runs your pockets. The pair had 3 children together, all girls. The Manzanares set off on the Emerald Princess cruise ship along with their extended family on the 24th of July 2017 to celebrate the Manzanares' 18th wedding anniversary. The ship contained 3,400 passengers and 1,100 crew members and was heading from Seattle to Alaska. There was trouble brewing in paradise, however, and it had been brewing long before they embarked on their Alaskan cruise. Kenneth admitted that in the past he'd forcefully restrained his wife and punched holes in walls. There was a violent side there. The cruise departed on schedule on the 24th, and it didn't take long before things went south. Only a day after departing, on the 25th, Kenneth and Kristy got into a heated argument. Kenneth wasn't behaving that night, and Kristy wasn't having it. A fight ensued. Kristy told him that she wanted a divorce and to get off the ship in Juneau. At this point, 2 of their daughters were in the room, and they were sent out of the room before having to witness their parents fight anymore. Although they did unfortunately witness some more, they were sent to an adjoining relative's cabin, whose balcony was connected to theirs. Next thing that they heard coming from their parents' room was the scream of their mother. They immediately went to investigate, but were told by their father, "Don't come in here." Kenneth would proceed to straddle on top of their mother and rain down punches, eventually beating her to death, which was witnessed in part by their daughters on the adjacent connecting balcony. Other members of the family arrived shortly after at the scene, walking into the bloodbath. Kenneth was seen trying to throw his battered wife overboard, but was stopped by one of Kristy's brothers beforehand. Security and medical personnel arrived and tried to save Kristy Manzanares, but were unsuccessful. The release said Kristy Manzanares died of blunt force trauma to her face and head. The FBI received a call later that night at about 10:13 p.m. from a security officer on board the ship who advised that there had been what appeared to be a homicide aboard the cruise ship, the Emerald Princess. On the night of the murder, there was a murder mystery night on the cruise. When announcements came through loudspeakers on the boat for security and medical personnel, passengers just assumed it was to add effects to the Sherlock Holmes murder mystery program.
How fresh.
Little did they know, it was an unfortunate reality. The boat diverted to Juneau, an investigation began, which meant passengers had to stay on the ship, which they clearly weren't very happy about. Kenneth was subsequently arrested, and the other passengers were allowed to disembark after 8 hours. As far as a motive for the murder, Kenneth claimed that his wife wouldn't stop laughing at him. In the past, Kenneth had played combat sports, including wrestling and boxing, which made Kenneth develop brain abnormalities. He too had undiagnosed bipolar disorder at the time and was on prescribed medication and a significant amount of alcohol. All this mixed with the thought of an impending divorce made a deadly cocktail, and he seen red. In court, the defence pleaded for leniency, stating that undiagnosed bipolar disorder and brain abnormalities that were contributing factors, hoping for a 7.5-year sentence. The judge didn't see these as a reason for mercy and wasn't so lenient with the sentencing. He was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release after pleading guilty in February 2020 to second-degree murder. That's the story of the Manzanares' cruise holiday to celebrate their anniversary, and how quickly things can take a turn for the worse when you act on impulse and your emotions without fearing the repercussions afterwards. These 3 girls have not just lost their mother in a horrific circumstance that they witnessed themselves, but their father too, now that he's been jailed. It's a real shame, and I hope they're all getting through life as normally as they can after what's happened. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, then please drop a like. It helps more than you'll ever know. And hey, if you like my content enough and want to see more, maybe even a sub. If you're feeling extra generous. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.